Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Better Money Management, another video on today. I have to say I find it a little ironic that I am actually on here earlier on a day that I don't have to go to work than a day that I do. Um, I feel like everybody's schedules have probably been pretty wacky lately, whether you're going into work or working from home, or if you're like me at this point with a shelter in place going on, that you're not going into work at all, that you're considered non-essential. So I wanted to get on today and continue talking about our credit scores. So I have been getting on and focusing on each aspect of what affects our credit score. So yesterday I got on and I talked about if you have late payments and how that affects your score. So today I am talking about credit card utilization. And all that means, like utilization, all that means is how much credit you are using versus how much you have available to you. So, if you're looking at a credit card and say you have like $1,000 limit and you have a $100 balance, that means you are utilizing 10% of the credit available to you. So when the credit companies are looking at your reports and looking at your credit cards, they are looking at it as a percentage. And they look at kind of your overall credit used. So if you have multiple credit cards, they will look at your total credit available and how much you're using towards it. They will also look at your individual cards, how much is available and how much you are using of it. So the number that comes up a lot when you look into this is 30%. So they kind of say that the ideal amount of usage on your credit card is 30% or less of what's available to you. So for that same $1,000 credit card, ideally we want to be using $300 or less on it. I would challenge that a little bit because we have to remember when we have credit cards, the credit card company's goal is for us to carry a balance because they want to collect interest from us, right? Because if we have a credit card and we're paying it off every month and we're not paying any interest, we are actually costing them money, right? Because they are doing all the administrative work of tracking our credit and paying for our purchases and sending us statements, but they're not making any money off of it. Their goal is to have us carry a balance and pay interest because that is how their entire business stays afloat, right? So they, of course, are going to say that ideally you want to carry a balance because they want to collect that interest. So I would challenge that 30% and say that ideally we want to carry a 0% balance. Now that might sound confusing. That might sound like I'm telling you to not use your credit card at all, but that's not true. What that means is that when you are charging to your card, you are paying it off before the statement due date so that you are not paying any interest. So when you get your credit card statement and you're looking at it, they're always going to show you what a current balance is, what a minimum payment is. So if you, or what the statement balance is and what a minimum payment is. So the minimum payment is all that they require you to pay, and that's usually what they would prefer you to pay because that is going to get them their interest, right? But if you pay the statement balance by the statement due date, you will not pay any interest on it, even if you've charged more to the card since then. So say your statement comes out on the 1st, you had a balance of $100 on the 1st when the statement came out. They say your minimum payment is $25. You have a choice. You can pay $25 or you can pay the $100. But say on the 3rd, you charge another $100. So by the 5th, when you go to make your payment, your minimum payment's $25. Your statement balance was $100. But you know what I say, that you charge another $200, but your current balance is actually $300. To avoid the interest, all you have to pay is that $100. It doesn't matter if you've charged more yet because it hasn't hit your statement. So you really just want to focus on what is actually printed on your statement. And if you pay that $100 statement balance, you will not pay any interest. And by doing so, you are still going to improve your credit. So using it, paying it off, not paying interest, still boosts your credit score. So it does not have to be anywhere between 1 to 30% rolling over each month. You can pay it off every month and still get those advantages to your credit. But that 30%, once you cross over that 30% that is carrying over, that is rolling, that's when you're going to see your credit score start to take a dive. It's going to start to go down. And the closer and closer you get to your limits, the more and more your credit score is going to drop because the credit card companies know that you're relying too much on that credit card. You are using it too much. And if something were to happen, you might not be able to pay it off, right? So, and I've talked about this before when I talked about, picking out a credit card, using credit cards. Some people think that credit cards are just straight up bad, that you shouldn't use them. Other people think that they're a great way to get rewards and things like that. I'm kind of somewhere in the middle. I think it depends on you as an individual, whether using a credit card or not is a good idea. So if you are going to have a credit card, you are going to use it, keep this in mind. Know that they can really affect your credit score really, really fast once you start getting a balance and you start carrying a balance and that balance grows. So just a word of caution for you. So I hope that this video helped you understand a little bit how that affects your credit. I will say that the credit card utilization has a high impact on your score. So it really makes a big difference on your credit score. And it's something that you have a lot of control over, right? So far we've talked about late payments, we've talked about credit card utilization. Both of these are things that you have a lot of control over. You'll realize that when we talk about some of the other factors, some of them you really can't control. You can't do anything about. These are ones that you can. So these are ones we really want to focus on. You really want to focus on, not having late payments and not having a high credit card utilization. So I hope this video helped you today. If you liked it, if you learned something new, give me a thumbs up, let me know. If you're liking these videos, I want to hear about it. So I will be back soon. We will be talking about more factors that affect your credit. Have a great day, everybody.